Hello, I'm Justin, and this is Ohio Gozaimasu, THK Manufacturing of America's series on Japanese language and culture. Today's video is the first in a two-part mini-series on Hiragana and Katakana, which are the unique writing systems used for the Japanese language. You won't learn all of Hiragana and Katakana just by watching these videos, but hopefully you'll get a good foundation. Hiragana and Katakana are not too hard to learn on your own if you get those basic concepts down, and that's the goal of these videos today. However, if you want to try writing the scripts, and I encourage you to try, there are resources included in the description of the video below. We'll discuss some more advanced concepts related to this theme next month, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss our next video.
So what are Hiragana and Katakana? They are two of the several scripts that Japanese uses. You may have heard of kanji, which are the characters Japan borrowed from China, and they are used in several other East Asian countries as well. Japanese also uses the Roman alphabet, which they call Romaji, as well as the numbers that we call Arabic numerals. Hiragana and Katakana are only used in Japan, were made by simplifying kanji, and they are phonetic, which means they represent sounds. Together, Hiragana and Katakana are called kana, and there are a lot of similarities between them. Let's take a look. They are a lot like the uppercase and lowercase of the alphabet. For example, we have two letter A's, big A and little a. Japanese, on the other hand, has two characters that represent the sound a, Hiragana a and Katakana a. For every Hiragana character, there is a corresponding Katakana character, and they are set up the same way. All the concepts that apply to one system apply to the other. So what are the differences? Hiragana is smoother and more rounded, while Katakana is more angular. Hiragana is used much more often, and Katakana is used for a few limited purposes like emphasis, expressing onomatopoeia, or sound effects, and writing foreign words phonetically. As I said earlier, this is a bit similar to the uppercase and lowercase alphabets. Capital letters in English, like katakana, usually have sharper angles and are used less frequently. However, there is not a rule in Japanese about capitalizing the beginning of sentences or proper nouns, so the comparison is not exact.
Why should you study them? First, Hiragana and Katakana are the basic building blocks of Japanese words. Learning Hiragana and Katakana will help you with your listening comprehension and also help you learn new vocabulary. Second, any Japanese word can be written in Hiragana. Third, Japanese dictionaries are set up in the A, I, U, E, O order that corresponds to our alphabetical order. Fourth, in many texts, difficult kanji may have their readings written over top of them in Hiragana. Here is an example with the word miru, to watch. It can be written all in Hiragana, or using kanji for the root of the verb, or using kanji for the root with a hint of how to read it on top. Even in advanced text, Hiragana is used alongside kanji to represent grammatical functions in the words. In our word miru, kanji represents the root. The end of the word shows the tense. Pop quiz. If taberu is to eat, what do you think tabeta means? If you said ate, that's correct. Not all the verbs in Japanese are that easy, but you will use hiragana to write the parts of verbs that change. Hiragana is also used to write particles. We don't have particles in English, so it's a little bit difficult to explain what they do. But basically, a particle is a short phrase or a single hiragana that comes after a noun, a person, place, thing, or idea, to show what that noun does in the sentence. Is it the main actor? Is it the thing receiving the action? Is it the time that something takes place or the location? Hiragana generally serves as a particle to tell us that function. Here is an example. We have particles in blue that come after various nouns, marking them as the topic, the time, and the direct object of the sentence.
私は6時に晩ご飯を食べた。
There were some pretty advanced concepts in there, but the main takeaways should be that you can write any Japanese word in hiragana, and even as you learn kanji, kanji never completely replaces hiragana because hiragana is going to be used in every Japanese sentence, and that's why hiragana is important to learn first.
The structure of the charts. English uses an alphabet, where a letter either represents a sound of a vowel or a consonant. Hiragana and katakana are called syllabaries, but they are similar to English in that a single letter represents either a vowel or a combination of a consonant and a vowel. Japanese has 5 vowels. It also has a base of 9 consonants that they can combine with. There are 5 vowels and 10 columns representing the vowels alone and the combinations with the 9 consonants. The 5 consonants are the same 5 that are found in other languages that may be more familiar to you, Latin, Italian, and Spanish: a, e, u, e, and o. Written in the Roman alphabet with the letters A, I, U, E, and O. As you look at the chart, you might notice that there are some gray areas where characters are missing, or areas I've highlighted in blue where the consonant is a bit different from what you might expect. We'll talk about this when we go over the sounds.
The characters and the sounds. Let's learn the first 5 sounds and the characters that go along with them. Sometimes, in typeface fonts, the characters are expressed a little bit differently than they should be written by hand. If you have paper and you want to practice, or you printed out a worksheet, now is a good time to use it. Repeat after the native speaker as you try to write the character.
A, I, U, E, O.
Once more, all together.
A, I, U, E, O.
The first consonant corresponds to the letter K. The combinations are ka, ki, ku, ke, and ko. One thing to be careful about is that this part of the loop on the bottom of ki connects in some typeface fonts, but should not connect in handwriting.
Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
The next consonant is s, but there is one trick to the sounds. The s consonant combines with the e vowel to make a sound more like sh. Instead of Japanese saying si, they often say shi. If you think this never happens in English, let me tell you that it sure does. Practice writing the hiragana and repeat the sounds.
Sa, shi, su, se, so. Sa, shi, su, se, so.
The next consonant is like the English T, but it has 2 strange combinations. T plus E sounds like chi, and T plus U gets a slight S sound added in and sounds like su. Let's practice.
Ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Ta, chi, tsu, te, to.
The next consonant group is easy. The consonant sounds like our letter N. There are no tricks this time, but some of the characters are hard to write. Let's go.
Na, ni, nu, ne, no. Na, ni, nu, ne, no.
The next consonant is like H, but when combined with U, it sounds like a breathy F. The Japanese F sound is very common. You've probably heard of Mount Fuji. It sounds like F in English, but it is made without biting the lower lip, like you are blowing out a candle. Let's go.
Ha, ひ、ふ、へ、ほ、はひふへほ.
Pay attention to the number of horizontal strokes in ha and ho. These two are easy to mix up.
The next group is also easy to say. The consonant sounds just like M in English. Let's practice.
ま、み、む、め、も、まみむめも.
The next consonant is like our letter Y, but there are only 3 combinations. Japanese used to have a yi and a ye, but those sounds have become obsolete and have reverted to just vowels. That's why the Japanese currency, the yen, is now called en in Japanese. Here we go.
や、ゆ、よ、やゆよ.
The next consonant is probably the hardest for English speakers. It is between our L and R sounds. When you say la in English, you probably touch the back of your teeth with your tongue. From this position, slide your tongue back a little bit farther to the soft part of the roof of your mouth when you say these sounds.
ら、り、る、れ、ろ、らりるれろ.
The last 3 hiragana are all special. The final consonant is W, but it only combines with ah to make a distinct sound. Let's practice.
わ、
There is also this hiragana wo, which is sometimes romanized as wo, but it is pronounced as o. This is never used in words in modern Japanese. It is used on its own for a very specific and very common grammatical purpose, one of those particles we talked about earlier. Let's practice.
お、
The last character represents the only consonant that can stand without a vowel. It is usually represented as an n, but is said with the mouth closed and the sound coming out your nose. If it comes before an M, a P, or a B, it sounds like a m. Let's practice.
ん、
B and P? Those aren't on the consonants list. What's up with that? There are some more consonants, but they are written using the same hiragana that we learned today. Once you have mastered the first 46 characters that we learned today, you can move on to the next sets.
We'll teach you how to write the sounds that correspond to the English letters B, P, and more next month. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss the video.